One of my favorite parts of making books is visiting schools and libraries and talking with kids and teenagers about writing and drawing and coming up with stories and characters. And we almost always end up talking about, in some way or another, sketchbooks. Um, and I, I use my sketchbooks. I put them to work. I just completed sketchbook number 89. Sketchbook number 89. And I like to kind of do like a little, flip through so they can see some of the things I've been doing. And we talk about, what do you notice? What do you see on these pages? And they'll talk about some of the things that I've drawn. Like, what is it? Oh, I see lots of animals. I see lots of faces. Um, Sometimes they'll say like, "Oh, there's a lot of writing on some pages, and some pages are all pictures." Or sometimes they'll say like, "Oh, there's color on some pages and not others." Or we'll talk about how some pages have, like I'm using Sharpie or pens or different kinds of markers or even crayons. So I'm drawing different things, different ways with different tools. Um, and so we just talk about that, and that's a lot of fun. And I think of my sketchbooks. There was a time in junior high and high school when I would just like trek around school with a huge, heavy backpack. Um, I would have the books that I was reading on my own for fun. And then I had my textbooks because back then we had textbooks, and there's no such thing as like a little textbook. They're all huge and heavy. So I'm lugging all those around, and then I would have my sketchbook, but I would also have my notebook. And at that time I had a different notebook for each class. I also was carrying around my journal. I was also carrying around a notebook that was specifically for like writing poetry. And I had a notebook that was specifically for writing down musical ideas, song lyrics, and different melodies and things like that. Um, and so I had all these notebooks, and I just kept all these different parts of classes in my life like all separated into different notebooks. And then in college I had a professor who encouraged us to keep a sketchbook as part of the class, and it got me so involved, and it was so immersive and so fun. And the way that the class was set up, it made me think about sketchbooks a little differently. And I did an experiment. I actually condensed all those notebooks that I had before into one book. They all became my sketchbook. So my my journal, my poetry, my notebook for class, my notebook for songwriting and lyrics, all those different notebooks became the same thing. And something really, really cool happened that I've never heard anyone else talk about before. And so I feel like I need to talk about it. I think it's very important. Um, Something really cool happens when you put all these different parts of your life onto the same page. So if I write like something, part of my grocery list, and then I'm taking a note in a meeting that I'm going to, and I'm doing some doodles of things I'm thinking about. And then maybe I'll still get like an idea for a poem or a song or something like that. And then I put some stickers in, something like that. Um, when I put all of those together on the same page, I can see the relationships between all those different parts of me and what they mean to me and what they mean in relationship to each other. It's fascinating. I think it's so cool. Um, and so I treat my sketchbook less as an object and more like a place. It's like a place I can go to and I can kind of think out loud on paper. I can explore, I can try things, I can experiment, I can make discoveries. And I don't have to worry about messing up because it's just my sketchbook. I can practice as much as I want, and I don't have to scribble anything out or tear it out or erase it or throw it away because nobody ever has to see it, unless I choose to share it because it's my personal sketchbook. Um, anyway, someone made a comment about they like the idea of uh, sketchbooks are my playground, and they are. In fact, my friends Lorna and Alana gifted me my current sketchbook, number 90, and on the front they labeled it Jess's Playground because they know how I use my sketchbooks. Anyway, if you keep a sketchbook or a notebook or a journal or a diary, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear how you use yours and what you get out of it and what's different about using a sketchbook rather than just working on finished pieces. Okay, thanks.